Hi everyone, in this video we are going to continue the chapter called life process. In the previous video we have covered that is how the human heart will function, and we have learnt about single circulation, double circulation, single circulation in fishes and double circulation in human heart, and what is double circulation and its advantages we have already studied in the last video. In this video we are going to continue the fourth part of the circulatory system, that is called lymph. So lymph is the fourth part of the circulatory system. Now let us know what is the meaning of what is lymph, then how the lymph is generated, and the third one, what are the functions of lymph. So now let us study about these things. So what is a lymph? A lymph is a colorless liquid similar in structure to blood. A colorless liquid similar in structure to blood is called lymph. A colorless liquid similar in structure to blood is called lymph. So ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು lymph ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. What is a lymph? A lymph is a colorless liquid. ನೋಡಿ, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಗಾದ್ರೆ ರೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಮೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್, but lymph is a colorless liquid. But even though it is a colorless liquid, it has similar in structure to blood. A colorless liquid similar in structure to blood is called as lymph. So ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು lymph ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದು ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಯಿತು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ what is our next question? Our next question is, how does lymph gets generated? So lymph ಹೇಗೆ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? How does lymph gets generated? So lymph ಹೇಗೆ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವೀಗ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಸೊ lymph ಹೇಗೆ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಎ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಸ್. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಇದೊಂದು ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಸ್. ಸೊ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನು ಇಂಟರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಸ್ನ ಇದು ಈಗ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಎ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ. This tissue is entirely covered with blood capillaries. Tissue is entirely covered with blood capillaries. So we know that, so this is a blood capillaries. In the blood capillaries you can see so many number of small pores. So ಈ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೆಪಿಲರಿ, ಈ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂವಿನ ಸುತ್ತ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೆಪಿಲರೀಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೆಪಿಲರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೋರಸ್. ಈ ಪೋರಸ್ನ ಮೂಲಕ ಸೊ ಥ್ರೂ ದಿಸ್ ಪೋರಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ, ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ and WBC present in ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ, ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಮತ್ತು WBC present in blood will get into this tissue space. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೆಪಿಲರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡು ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೆಪಿಲರೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೋರಸ್. ಈ ಪೋರಸ್ನ ಮೂಲಕ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ, ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್, ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವ WBC ಈ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ಗೆ ಬಂದು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುವಂತಹ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ, ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್, ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನ WBCನೇ ನಾವು we have to call it as lymph. So lymph contains plasma, proteins and WBC. So ನೋಡಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ, ಎ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ is called tissue. So tissue is surrounded by blood capillaries. So blood capillaries has so many number of small pores. When blood flows through these capillaries, through these small pores, the plasma, protein and WBC will get drains into this space, and this liquid which get drains into the tissue space is called as lymph. ಇದನ್ನೇ ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಸೊ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೆಪಿಲರೀಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಕೆಪಿಲರೀಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೋರಸ್ ಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂತಹ WBC, ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಗಳು, ಸೊ ಅವು ಆ ಪೋರಸ್ನ ಮೂಲಕ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ಗೆ ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಲಿಂಫ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಲಿಂಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ similar in structure to blood. A colorless liquid similar to structure in blood is called as lymph, and this lymph contains plasma, proteins and WBC. So idu ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಲಿಂಫ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಿಂಫ್. ಸೊ ಲಿಂಫಿನ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನು ಅಂತ ನಾವೀಗ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಿಂಫ್. ಸೊ ಲಿಂಫ್ನ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂದರೆ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಬರೋಣ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್. It will carry digested fat from small intestine. So small intestine ಇಂದ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರೋ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲಿಂಫ್. ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದು, ಸೊ ಈ ಲಿಂಫ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಮೊದಲನೇದು ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಇಂದ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋಣ. ಈ ಲಿಂಫ್ since it contains WBC, so WBC white blood cells na hondirodrinda, since it contains WBC, it acts like a body defense. Since it contains WBC, it acts like a body defense and fight against disease causing microorganisms. So these are the main two functions of lymph. What is a lymph? Lymph is a colorless liquid similar in structure to blood. How does lymph is generated? So this is a tissue. This tissue is surrounded by blood capillaries. In blood capillaries you can see so many number of small pores. When blood flows through the blood capillaries, through this small pores, plasma, protein and WBC present in blood will get drains into this space, and this colorless liquid which is drains into this space is called as lymph. And what are the functions of lymph? Lymph will carry digested fat from small intestine, and second function is since it contains WBC, it acts like a body defense and it fight against disease causing microorganisms. So these are the things that you have to study about lymph. So ಇಷ್ಟನ್ನ ನೀವು ಲಿಂಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಿಂಫ್. ಸೊ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಲಿಂಫ್ಗೂ ಇರುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್, ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಿಂಫ್. ಸೊ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡು ಮತ್ತು ಲಿಂಫ್ನ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಸೊ ಮೊದಲನೇದು ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು presence of hemoglobin. What is the color of the blood? Blood is red due to presence of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin ittu andre blood red in color ide. So lymph is a colorless liquid due to absence of hemoglobin. So no hemoglobin. Very important difference for examination. So I'll differentiate between blood and lymph. Blood is red in color due to presence of hemoglobin. Lymph is a colorless liquid due to absence of hemoglobin. So this is the first difference between blood and lymph. Coming to the second difference, so blood in a second difference ke barana. So second difference ke barana. So second difference is it contains. So what does the blood contains? It contains RBC, WBC and RBC, WBC, plasma and platelets. So what does blood contains? It contains RBC, WBC, plasma and platelets. Then what does the lymph contains? It contains plasma, which is present in the blood, plasma. Second one is WBC. It contains plasma, WBC and proteins. So what does the blood contains? It contains RBC, WBC, plasma and platelets. What does the lymph contains? It contains plasma, WBC and proteins. So this is the second difference between blood and lymph. Then coming to the third difference between blood and lymph. So blood ಮತ್ತೆ lymph ಗೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ next difference ನ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, so blood it transports materials from one organ to another organ. ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗನ್ಗೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಿಂಫ್. Then what does the lymph will transport? It transports. So lymph will transports. So it transports materials from tissue space into blood. So what does the blood will transport? It transports material from one organ to another organ. Lymph will transport material from tissue space into the blood. Then coming to the next difference between blood and lymph. Blood ಮತ್ತೆ lymph ಗೆ ನಾವೀಗ we have to tell the path. So blood will flow from arteries to capillaries. From capillaries it flows into veins. From capillaries arteries ಇಂದ capillaries ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, capillaries ನಿಂದ veins ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, veins ಇಂದ it moves to heart. ಇದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನೇಟೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಇದು ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನೇಟೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಡಿಆಕ್ಸಿಜನೇಟೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Arteries will carry oxygenated blood from heart. Veins will carry deoxygenated blood to the heart. ಇದು ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್. ಅಗರ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬರೋಣ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗ ಹೇಳೋದಾದರೆ, ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ lymph moves to lymphatic capillaries. From lymphatic capillaries it moves to lymphatic vessels. From lymphatic vessels it moves to veins. So from tissue space the material moves to lymphatic capillaries. From lymphatic capillaries it moves to lymphatic vessels, and from lymphatic vessels it moves to veins. From veins it reaches to heart. So like this, the blood, the difference between blood and lymph, you have to differentiate like this. So now let us differentiate between blood and lymph. Blood, first one, blood is red in color due to presence of hemoglobin, and lymph is a colorless fluid similar in structure to blood, and it is colorless due to absence of hemoglobin. So it contains RBC, WBC, plasma and platelets. It contains WBC, plasma and WBC and plasma and proteins. Then third difference is that it transports material from one organ to another. It transports material from tissue space into the blood. The path for the flow of the blood are, that is, the oxygenated blood from arteries will be carried to capillaries. From the capillaries, deoxygenated blood will be carried to veins. From the veins, the deoxygenated blood moves to heart. Then the path for the flow of the lymph is from the tissue space, the material enters to lymphatic capillaries. From lymphatic capillaries, the material flows through lymphatic vessels. From lymphatic vessels to veins. So this is the path for the flow of lymph. So like this, we have to study about lymph and differences between lymph and blood. So blood ಮತ್ತು lymph ಇರುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. So this is about the fourth part of the circulatory system, that is called lymph, and by this we have successfully completed the transportation in human beings. In the next video we are going to study about transportation in plants, that is we are going to study about two type of tissues. One is xylem, another one is phloem. Xylem is a water conducting tissue, phloem is a food conducting tissue. So both together called as vascular bundles, and these two tissues are vascular tissues because they conduct or they make the material to get transported. One will transport water, that is xylem, another will transport food, that is phloem. So in the next video we are going to study about the next type of that is transportation in plants, that is about xylem and phloem. So thank you very much for watching my YouTube channel. So those who are not subscribed, please subscribe my channel. Those who are already subscribed, please watch my videos, like my videos and share my videos. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification for the next video. So thank you very much. Once again, I thanks for everyone who is supporting me and my YouTube channel. And once again, thank you to all.